Winds News Time is 2:11. Let's get you where you need to go with Andre Farrow.
Okay, let's go to the here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. Eastbound southern delays. We had that stall by Hempstead Avenue. That's gone, but you do have delays from Eagle Avenue to at least the Seaford Oyster Bay on the eastbound side of the Southern State. The eastbound Northern State Parkway is increased with delays right around New Hyde Park Road, and the eastbound LIE, pretty much the same deal. New Hyde Park Road heading towards Roslyn Road, you have volume. Southbound on the Cross Island in Queens, no banks from Bell down to Northern. Clearview would be better. The Whitestone seeing some extra traffic on the Bronx side, and it looks like we have some type of disabled vehicle on the Whitestone heading towards the Bronx as well. We'll keep an eye on that moving forward. Throgs Neck would be a better option coming into Queens from the Throgs Neck and the Bronx. There's some volume on the Bronx side. Eastbound Grand Central, we're going to take the Triborough into Queens. We have delays right around Steinway Street. Inbound George Washington Bridge, here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. We're looking at about 15 minutes, not terrible. The outbound side is going to cost you 25 from the Cross Bronx. It's going to be a busy ride on the Henry Hudson Parkway southbound towards Dykeman and the southbound Deegan coming down from Van Cortlandt Park. It's going to be that way for a while with the street fair going on Broadway between Dykeman and 110th Street. Not catching a break there for sure. Inbound Lincoln 15, about the same as the inbound Holland, but the outbound Lincoln is wide open while the outbound Holland will cost you 15 minutes. Andre Farrow, 1010 Winds, 92.3 FM.
And now the AccuWeather forecast on this really nice Saturday afternoon. Here's meteorologist Carl Erickson.
It's difficult to get the weather much nicer than this for the middle of August. We got the sunshine in place. Temperatures right around where they should be for this time of the year. And the humidity on the low side will have a high of 83 today. Then a partly cloudy tonight, remaining dry, quiet as far as the weather goes, low near 70. And a little bit more humid tomorrow. We'll also add some more cloud cover into the picture there. And that may lead to a shower or thunderstorm into the afternoon, high 80. But a lot of that activity, a lot of those showers and storms holding off until tomorrow night. They'll begin to move away Monday morning and maybe a leftover shower for that morning commute. And then a dry ride home as some sunshine returns in the afternoon, high 83. And sunny and nice again on Tuesday, high 84. Currently, it is 81, mostly sunny, humidity 40%, and winds northeast at 5 miles per hour. The current temperature 81, going up to 83 in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Kai Hertzler, New York's weather station, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Well, basketball great LeBron James trading the hardwood for greener pastures. He's launched a YouTube channel dedicated to golf.
Today, I'm going to do a 3v3 scramble. I've never seen that.
And the channel is titled simply LeBron James, and it'll show him playing at some of the world's greatest golf courses with friends, some of them also famous while they dine at local restaurants as well. The first episode debuted today, features members of the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers championship team celebrating the 10th anniversary of the franchise's first ever NBA title. New episodes will drop monthly on Saturdays. The BBC now trying to subpoena members of the Trump family in connection with the $10 billion defamation suit filed against the network by President Trump. But they're not having much luck so far. Seems the Secret Service has gotten in the way of those subpoenas being delivered in person as required. So the BBC has gone to court to allow them to send them by mail. The president's lawsuit claims a BBC documentary about the Capitol insurrection spliced together parts of the speech he gave before the riot to make it sound like he was endorsing violence. The British broadcaster wants to force testimony from Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump, saying they were there when the president revised the speech and know without question what his intentions were. They also want to hear from presidential son-in-law Jared Kushner, saying he drafted a statement condemning the violence one President Trump apparently never delivered. Now, the BBC has actually apologized for the editing, but claims it's not valid grounds for a lawsuit. A ceremony today in Poland for a new statue, what's believed to be the tallest one in Europe. The monument of the Virgin Mary stands over 182 feet tall in a tiny town in central Poland, home to only 150 people. It was funded by one of the wealthiest business moguls in that country, and locals hope it'll become a major pilgrimage site and tourist destination. The new statue is taller than the famous Christ the Redeemer monument in Rio, but smaller than another statue of the Virgin Mary in the Philippines. That one soars 322 feet. Proud to be New York's first choice for news. Thank you for making us your #1 news station.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. 81 degrees now. Lots of sunshine at 2:20. I'm Donna Vaughn. And here's what's happening on this Saturday afternoon. She's 72 years old and she is going after ICE. A senior citizen says she was maced by an immigration agent during a protest in Manhattan, is using a new state law to sue the feds. One man slashed another under arrest after a violent confrontation aboard the Hudson Bergen light rail in Jersey City overnight. A come-from-behind victory has earned a youth baseball team from New Jersey a trip to the Little League World Series.
They were down but never out. Bayonne is going to win.
A second powerful earthquake has struck Indonesia, where emergency workers are searching for survivors, almost 40 confirmed dead. And Nate Bargatze has just made the Guinness Book for most tickets ever sold to a stand-up comedy hour. That man had in 1010 Wins Entertainment. The Liberty at the Connecticut Sun this afternoon. Also today, the Yankees will be at the Blue Jays and the Mets in Washington at Citi Field. AccuWeather says high 83 this afternoon. Not a lot of humidity under mostly sunny skies. Winds News Time 2:21. Let's get you where you need to go with Andre Farrow.
Working on a crash on Long Island on the northbound side of the Meadowbrook Parkway heading up towards Old Country Road. It's almost out of there, but it's enough to cause a slowdown. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big 3. We see delays eastbound Southern from Franklin Avenue and Valley Stream to the Wantagh Merge. Eastbound LIE, you're slow by Roslyn Road, and the Northern State Parkway entering Nassau County from Queens. Those delays all the way back to Francis Lewis Boulevard heading towards the New Hyde Park Road area. Southbound Cross Island bumper to bumper heading down towards Northern Boulevard. The Clearview would be better if you're going to use the Throgs Neck Queensbound. We have a stall on the Whitestone heading towards the Bronx mid-span, so you're slow Bronx bound. Coming into Queens a little bit slow on the Bronx side as well. Triborough is the best of the three, but you have delays eastbound Grand Central and Queens right around Steinway Street. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. 25 minutes in at the George and about 30 on the outbound side with the cross Bronx delays. Everything southbound in the Bronx is brutal. The Henry Hudson Parkway, Dyckman Street, the Deegan coming down from the Marshalloo, the southbound Bronx River Parkway coming down from Allerton Avenue, and southbound 95 by Bartow cannot catch a break in the Bronx. Inbound Lincoln, that's going to be about 15. With the inbound Holland. The outbound Lincoln is wide open, but the outbound Holland will cost you 15. Andre Farrow, 1010 Wins, 92.3 FM.
A senior citizen New Yorker and vocal critic of ICE now suing the Department of Homeland Security, claiming immigration agents roughed her up last month in Upper Manhattan. Linda Wolf is 72 years old, and she tells Channel 7 Eyewitness News it happened during an ICE operation in Inwood after protesters like her showed up.
They maced me, but I was so high on adrenaline that I just kept going.
And didn't realize until later how serious the macing was. She says it left her with a case of acute laryngitis. The NYPD showed up, and officers can be seen on video asking the ICE agent for ID, to which he responded, quote, "We don't have to," before he drives off. 1010 Wins has reached out to ICE for comment. Wolf would be the first person to sue under a new state law called the Bivens Act, which allows people to sue federal officers for damages when their constitutional rights are violated. A fight on board the Hudson Bergen light rail in Jersey City overnight ended with a man being slashed in the forehead. NJ Transit says the victim got into an argument with another man on board while the train was stopped at Liberty State Park. Then the other guy pulled a knife. There is a suspect in custody facing assault and weapons charges. The victim wasn't seriously hurt. Apparently, he refused medical attention. No specifics yet about what might have started the violent brawl. Well, it's a dream come true for a youth baseball team from New Jersey. Bayonne is headed to this year's Little League World Series after a comeback win against Darien, Connecticut last night.
Back to Rincon. They'll run to the bag, toss it over. They were down but never out. Bayonne is going to Williamsport.
And the final call, as heard on ESPN last night, the Fighting Bees were down 2 runs in the third inning, but then scored 4 times in the fifth to take the lead. And they never gave it up. Final score 8-6. This is the first ever state championship for Bayonne, which will face Massachusetts this Wednesday in round 1 of the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. They'll duke it out for the title with 20 other teams from all across the globe. Among their fans is Governor Cheryl, who posted a message to the team on social media. She writes that all of New Jersey will be cheering you on. Bring it home, Fighting Bees. Well, some federal lawmakers are demanding answers about the cyclosporiasis outbreak and if corruption has had anything to do with how serious it's gotten. Thousands of people have now been sickened in just about every state.
Democrat Senator Elizabeth Warren vowing to investigate what she says is the government's calamitous response. The deadly cyclosporiasis outbreak that sickened more than 24,000 people. In a letter to Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Warren questioning if, quote, incompetence and corruption impacted the Trump administration's response, noting the parent company as the source of the outbreak. Taylor Farms donated $1 million to Trump's super PAC last year.
No comment yet from HHS. That was correspondent Olivia Rubin. The outbreak has been linked to iceberg lettuce from Taylor Farms. 2 people have died, more than 700 hospitalized. And now Bloomberg Money Watch.
For some consumers, back-to-school shopping is already underway. Tanger, known for its off-price shopping centers, is seeing stronger foot traffic and sales, thanks in part to early back-to-school shoppers and FIFA World Cup-related spending. The company just raised its outlook for a second time this year. CEO Stephen Yalof on Bloomberg TV.
The old narrative on outlets was, it was a specific shopping trip that maybe you made once a season.
Yalof says consumer habits surrounding outlet shopping have shifted.
The population shift has brought more people, permanent population, to the markets where we have shopping centers. And in response to that, we've been re-merchandising these centers. We've been adding more food and beverage, more entertainment, things that are going to draw the customer, going to hold the customer, and ultimately get that multiple visit.
When asked what he's hearing from Tanger's tenants, given a backdrop of headwinds like rising oil prices and lower savings rates, the CEO says he thinks retailers will respond with better value. I'm Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
I'm mostly sunny outside, 81 degrees in Midtown. Winds news time, 2:30.
Good afternoon, I'm Ashok Bala. Protests and lawsuits are mounting over the Big Bend border wall project in far west Texas. The Trump administration awarded $46 billion to build 200 miles of border wall, mostly just outside of Big Bend National Park. But opponents have filed a federal lawsuit saying the project will irreversibly damage sacred land, ancient archaeological sites, and natural resources.
Texas State Senator and attorney Roland Gutierrez represents Laypan Apache advocates who are part of the suit and says the wall isn't even needed.
If you were able to get through that large canyon, you have 200 miles of desert to get through. And so this is just an impossibility for so many reasons. It's a waste of our tax dollars.
The Border Patrol says what people are seeing is survey and design work, not construction, and that it's working to preserve the landscape.
Chuck Sievertson with that report. Winds news time, 2:31. Let's get you where you need to go. Here's Andre Farrow.
We have a crash on the New Jersey Turnpike northbound. The exit ramp to interchange 13. You have one lane knocked out, and it's enough to cause a slowdown in that area. We also have big delays on the Garden State Parkway from exit 147 down to exit 142. You're dealing with some volume, and there are northbound delays as well as you come up towards Route 78 on the Garden State Parkway heading up towards Irvington. You're going to need some time there as well. Inbound George Washington Bridge, here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. 25 minutes in, 35 minutes out with the cross Bronx delays. It's going to be a slow ride on the southbound Henry Hudson Parkway heading down towards Dykeman Street because Broadway is pretty much obsolete. They have the street fair, the Summer Street thing going on between Dykeman Street and 110th Street, north and southbound on Broadway. So pretty much the extra volume is going to the southbound Henry Hudson Parkway, and that's what's happening. The delays are there. The southbound Deegan coming down from the Marshallus, bumper to bumper, same deal. Southbound Bronx River Parkway coming down from Allerton Avenue, and the southbound side of 95 by Bartow Avenue passing Co-op City is slow. Westbound 287 in White Plains, you have road work again that's slowing you down here until the spring. If you're heading across the Mario Cuomo Tappan Zee Bridge into Rockland County, northbound delays on the thruway heading up towards 9W in Nyack, heading up towards the Palisades Mall. Andre Farrow, 1010 Wins, 92.3 FM.
Now the AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Carl Erickson.
And a beautiful afternoon, Ashok, with that sunshine in place, the low humidity as well, of a high 83 to round out the rest of the day. Then partly cloudy tonight, remaining dry and quiet as far as the weather goes, down to 70. And breezy, a little bit more humid tomorrow. We'll notice more cloud cover running in during the afternoon. That may lead to a spotty shower or thunderstorm, but the majority of the day tomorrow should be rain-free with a high of 80, with much of that shower and thunderstorm activity holding off until tomorrow night when some of those storms may contain some downpours. So watch out for localized flooding in the streets, poor drainage areas overnight into early Monday morning. But the trend Monday for that morning commute will be to dry things out. Maybe a leftover shower, then clouds go away to some sunshine, high 83. And sunny, nice again on Tuesday, back up to 84. Currently 81 mostly sunny, humidity 40%, and winds northeast at 5 miles per hour. Repeating the current temperature, 81, going up to 83 in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Paul Nixon on New York's weather station, 1010 winds on 92.3 FM.
A second powerful and deadly earthquake struck Indonesia this morning. The 6.9 magnitude quake follows a larger 7.7 early Saturday.
The massive quake and a number of aftershocks shaking buildings, collapsing several homes, and causing concrete blocks to break off onto passengers waiting to board a ferry. People are still trapped beneath the mounds of rubble. Search and rescue teams are now working around the clock to rescue survivors during this critical window. But the fear is, with many people still trapped, the death toll could rise.
Lana Hassan reporting at least 38 confirmed dead at this time. Boxer Pritchard Colon has died 11 years after suffering a traumatic brain injury in the ring. It was back in October 2015 when the Puerto Rican-born boxer was diagnosed with a brain bleed following a fight with Terrell Williams in Fairfax, Virginia. He underwent surgery and later suffered irreversible brain damage from what boxing officials called illegal blows to the back of the head during that match. Before the fight, Colon collected 16 straight wins, including 13 knockouts. Pritchard Colon was 33. The U.S. Army is temporarily grounding all Apache helicopter flights after a crash near Fort Hood, Texas this week.
The Army says as it's mourning the two aviators who were lost in this week's Apache helicopter crash, and as it tries to better understand why the helicopter crashed, that it's ordering a stand down of all Apache flights temporarily until further notice. Data shows the Apaches have a higher number of mishaps recently than other helicopters in the Army inventory. Alex Stone, ABC News.
A Guinness record for a comic next in 1010 Wins Entertainment.
I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg with your weekend weather update. On Saturday, expect partly sunny skies with a high of 81. Temperatures will drop to around 70 Saturday night. Sunday will be mainly cloudy with a high of 81.
1010 Wins Entertainment comedian Nate Bargatze is now a world record holder. Variety reports his Big Dumb Eyes stand-up tour has set a Guinness record for the most tickets sold at more than 2 million in just over 16 months.
Community college, a lot of people don't know, is college when they're like, you're probably going to stay in your community. So
Jeff Dunham held the previous record at more than 1.9 million over 35 months. Bargatze is known for his family-friendly material, is expected to be presented with an award from Guinness before his show tonight in Toronto. The latest X-Men film is taking shape. Marvel Studios has announced the cast of mutants, including Kit Connor as Cyclops, Christopher Abbott as Professor X, Maya Boyd as Storm, and Obsession's Indy Navarrete as Rogue.
No, don't do it!
Adam Driver will play the villain, Mr. Sinister. This is the first X-Men movie since 2019's Dark Phoenix, set to come out May 2028. Get ready to head back to the zoo. Disney has announced Zootopia 3 is in the works following the massive success of last year's sequel, which raked in nearly $2 billion worldwide. No word yet on the cast or a release date. The heartbeat of the city at the speed of New Yorkers. 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Mostly sunny, 81 degrees at 2:40. Good afternoon. I'm Ashok Bala. Here's what's happening. 8 crime charges for the Bronx man who assaulted people at Manhattan's Central Synagogue last night. 8 rescued in Sands Point after a boat takes on water. Lala is a tropical storm that could turn into a hurricane, and it's headed to Hawaii. President Trump speaks at the Nassau County Police Academy, calling the affordability crisis a hoax and making light of war.
Pretty soon I'll be declaring the Hormuz Strait a territory of the United States.
Netflix responding to the lawsuit filed by Tyra Banks over America's Next Top Model. The Yanks are in Toronto at 3:07. The Mets host the Nats at 4:10. It's really nice. AccuWeather says low humidity, mostly sunny. 83 is the high today, and tonight partly cloudy, a bit more humid, down to 70 tomorrow. Breezy, more humid. Sunshine will fade behind increasing clouds. An afternoon thunderstorm with a high of 80 for Sunday. Winds news time, 2:41. Let's get you where you need to go. Here's Andre Farrow.
Look out for a stall on the southbound side of the New England Thruway heading down towards Connor Street, so right by the Bronx border. It's slow from that area in Pelham and Route 1 all the way down to Pelham Parkway as you pass Co-op City. Northbound, you're slow in the Bronx by Country Club Road, but everything southbound is busy. Bronx River Parkway from Gun Hill Road down towards the Cross Bronx is southbound Deegan from the Mosholu down to Yankee Stadium. And the southbound side of the Henry Hudson Parkway has been terrible heading down towards Dykeman. You have the street fair, the Summer Street on Dykeman down towards on Broadway, down from Dykeman to 110th Street.